Smackdown this week did not do too well, considering a couple weeks ago they did their lowest rating of all time, 0. Believe it was like 0.28. And then last week they threw everything at the wall. John Cena had a match, AJ Lee returned, and it went up. But last week, I mean, they threw it all and promoted it really well and went to 0.51 or something. This week, with Brock Lesnar appearing, it only did a 0.37. And I did a review of this as a short. I watched the Brock Lesnar thing in the sauna. And for as arrogant as these dork WWE writers, these suits at the WWE headquarters that put themselves over as geniuses, they did a thing with Lesnar. Instead of giving him a squash match against R-Truth, who, by the way, they've done nothing with since he's been back other than make him shave his head. This is the first real relevant thing. He claimed they made it into a comedy sketch with R-Truth, who is dark skinned, claiming he's John Cena's brother from a different father. And it was just cringe to watch. And it went on about 3 or 4 minutes. But when Brock Lesnar talked, he's not terrible, but he's not great on the mic. He's better with Paul Heyman. And like John Cena was just a heel. And R-Truth just gave a heelish type promo. So is that really a guy you want to bring in as a babyface to confront Lesnar and then have Lesnar talk? Why didn't they just make the match 4 minutes? I don't know. Yeah, Richard, they could. I don't know. To me, it would have been better as an actual match. I don't know why they didn't do it. They're probably saving money because they have to pay Brock Lesnar more to wrestle than actually have a match. But I understand he makes about $12 million a year and has been making that much a year since at least 2018, according to records I've seen. And he hasn't even wrestled maybe they didn't want to have his first match back until this thing because they want people to shell out $30 to join the ESPN streaming service. Because, by the way, guys, this is not airing on Peacock. The Peacock deal is over. They're just going to air the final Saturday night main event with John Cena on Peacock and some random shows. But in Canada, it doesn't matter. You can get it all on one channel. In the US, you have to buy numerous streaming services. And here's what I watch it all on YouTube, right? I watch all the interesting stuff on YouTube. They post so much for free on YouTube. Why? I guess these streaming services are just in such competition with cable. They just want to have some type of ownership of the footage. But to me, like if I'm buying Raw, for instance, for hundreds of millions of dollars and not getting great ratings, I'd be like, you're posting this on YouTube seconds after it happens. And why would we sit through all the commercials and boring parts? And then in WWE, you got the commercials to watch. Then you have the WWE commercials to watch. Then the talking in between. Or you can just watch the segments on YouTube. To me, I mean, especially if you have YouTube Premium like I do, just watch the segments. Anyways, to me, that was a really bad way. And then again, Brock Lesnar said he was going to knock out Ron Killing's teeth. And all he did was an F5. He didn't even punch him in the mouth. So it was a useless segment. Jerry the King Lawler has made a statement to the media. He's 75 now. He said that he suffered a stroke about 5 days ago. Sometime last week, he's been released. He had the stroke in Florida, and he is now returning home to Memphis. The stroke was caused by him not taking his anti-stroke medicine, I guess, because he's had 2 strokes and a heart attack in the past. So he's under medication, and I guess he wasn't taking it properly. And in this statement, he said he's going to start taking the medication properly. Well, probably a smart thing to do, um, because you don't want to die. And Jerry Lawler, I've met him before a couple of times just in passing, and I did a little interview with him. He seems genuinely nice to me. I know we all have our faults, but he seems nice. Undertaker is getting a lot of behind the scenes heat lately, or sorry, fan heat rather, from one thing, this the whole thing with Saudi Arabia, which yes, I mean, before I get into their defense for the Saudi Arabia stuff, he replaced his podcast host who people liked with his wife. And she's brutal on there. And it's not like she was famous for being anything other than the Undertaker's wife. I never thought she was, other than good looking, I never thought anything of her as a wrestler. It's just he's so whipped. He is so whipped. It's brutal. And then seeing him suck up to the Saudi Arabia guy, you know, people don't have a right to a fair trial there. Women could be killed if they cheat on their husbands. You can be killed. You can be chemically castrated if you're gay. I mean, I'm not going to get into it because I'm not very political. But for the people that are like, oh, just take the money. I mean, I understand it. They're doing it, but they're getting away from what built them, the actual fan base that built them. And Booker T put out a statement and basically says WWE didn't sell out. It's a business and it's about making money. And this is also about Mark Shapiro making a statement that they're going to boost up ticket prices and Vince McMahon was being too family friendly. So they want to be more aggressive with ticket prices, but you're going to turn off the families. I understand what TKO is probably going to do. They'll milk it for all it's worth, and then when it starts to lose money, they're going to sell it. So they don't care. They're just a full business. But Booker T said this, quote, "This comes after Mark Shapiro are going to put prices up again, and that they're getting 100 million plus for Saudi Arabia for WrestleMania 43, as well as the Royal Rumble is going there next year, and other shows that they're making at least 50 million a show for to over 100 million. Booker T said this, quote, "It's about dollars and cents at the end of the day. It's all about the talent being able to create a lot of revenue to pay these guys," unquote. Is it supposed to be? Is the wrestling business supposed to be about the talent making money alone, or is it also supposed to be about the fans? Is it not supposed to be about the fans? Do the fans not matter anymore? I mean, I'm in Wichita right now. WWE is not coming here at all this year. They're not coming to my hometown of Ottawa this year either. So there's definitely a disconnect happening with the fans because they're not doing house shows anymore because they're not popular enough to make money on house shows. If they were, they'd be doing them. So they want to limit them, have people have to drive to them. So if you're an Ottawa guy this year, you got to drive to Toronto if you want to see WWE, which they only came to Toronto once this year. They used to go to Toronto like 9 times a year. And there's no future date, to my knowledge, announced for Toronto. Thank you, Ryan, for the $2 tip. Bring Bart Gunn back on the show. Yes, I will bring. I think you might be thinking about Steve Blackman, but Bart Gunn, I actually might bring him on soon. Yeah, Canada was a hotbed for pro wrestling. AEW has 2 shows on in Canada this year, which, by the way, I got an email the other day for their Dynamite taping after their pay-per-view. They're discounting tickets because they haven't. The reality is they haven't had over 1,000 fans at a show in weeks. That's literally the reality. For the past 7 shows, they've been at the ECW arena that holds 900 people, and it hasn't legitimately sold out every time. They could, if they would get their act together, they could actually do really well. But unfortunately, Tony Khan wants to micromanage everything and doesn't take enough people's opinions to make it better. He books for himself. Brian Burson, WWE is sacrificing long-term profits for short-term gain.